Good evening everyone. I am Rishabh from second year Computer Science Engineering, and in this video we are going to discuss about SMTP in computer networks. What is SMTP? It is known as Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. As you could all guess from the name, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol is used majorly for sending mails from a client to a server. So basically when we send an email, for example Gmail, when we are sending an email for work purpose, this uses the SMTP protocol. So let us start from how this SMTP protocol originated in the olden times. So the early development of this SMTP started in the year 1971 by a person known as Mr. Ray Tomlinson, who is credited with sending the first email message. So this at that time was not known as SMTP. At that time it was known as CPYNet, and it was later renamed as SMTP. This CPYNet was actually used for sending messages, and in that times it was not standardized, and it was standardized afterwards. So let's come to the recent years where we are using SMTP. So SMTP is a simple protocol which is used for sending and receiving email messages between client and a server. So it is the standard protocol which is used for email transmission over the internet nowadays, and it operates over the TCP, which is known as Transmission Control Protocol. And in TCP, in olden times, it uses the port number called as 25. This 25 is a reserved port number, and in recent times it uses the port number 587, which is used from communication from a client to a server along with encryption nowadays. And this 587 is also a reserved port number for SMTP. So now let's see how SMTP actually works, the working procedure. In simple words, first the client, that is us, we will initiate a connection to the server. So the email client, which is us, we will use either any of the interface like Gmail or Hotmail or anything, and which we will connect to the SMTP server using port 587. Then the client, which is us, will send a message. In this message, what we will include is that the sender, the receiver or the recipient who we want to send this mail to, and we will include the subject of the mail and the actual main body of the mail, which will be in plain text. And we will send a request to the SMTP server. The SMTP server will process our request, and it will first verify the authentication. And authentication means it will verify if our email address is correct, that is the sender email address is correct or not, and it will verify if the recipient email address is valid or if the recipient address exists or not. So after verifying the email address, it will actually send the email through a server through many routers, which is part of routing protocols. So now let's see the main messages or the commands which is used in SMTP. So the SMTP commands first begin with HELO or EHLO command. This hello command, this is used for the client to identify the server actually. So when the client will actually introduce himself to the SMTP server using the hello command. So for example, it will be HELO and whatever my name is, let's say client.example or client.gmail.com. This will be sent to the server. This is by HELO message. Next command is MAIL, mail from, mail from command. This command is done or sent which will identify the sender's email address. This command tells the server, it will tell the server where our email originated from. That means it will tell our email ID. For example, my name rishabh@gmail.com. This mail ID will be told to the server by this mail from command. The third important command is RCPT2. This command will specify the recipient's email address, which means it will inform the server about the email address of the person who should receive this actual particular email. For this, after this, next command is DATA, which is the data command. This data command will mark actual beginning of the email's body part. After the header part, it will mark the starting of the body part, and we will start sending our data, which is the main message. And the last message is QUIT, which is the quit message. The quit message actually terminates the SMTP session. After the quit command, actually the server closes the connection with the client. now let us see a simple Java code or a simple code which will tell us how this SMTP protocol can be implemented. So now let us see the Java code which we are using to implement the SMTP protocol. First, we should import java.util.properties, where properties is an inbuilt class in Java. This properties class is used for holding the key value pairs, which is used for configuring the email session. Next, we create the main class, the public class, and the main method we declare inside that. Inside that, we declare two string variables which we declare as final, because we do not want to change them. So you will give your particular email address over here, and you will give whatever is your password in this particular line. Next, we will create a next string which is string 2. In this string we will store the email address of the recipient or whom you want to send the email to. And in next string host you will declare which SMTP server you want. It can be either Gmail, it can be Outlook, it can be Rediff, it can be anything. And we will declare the port number. As I already discussed, 587 is the default reserved port number for SMTP's latest version of the protocol. Next, we will create an object of the class properties. Inside this, we will use the .put method. And in this, first we will pass the SMTP server address. Next, we will pass the port number, which is 587. After that, we will pass true. Here, mail.smtp.auth over here. This represents the authorization. As I already told, it needs to be authorized. And for simulating the SMTP over here, we pass authorization as by default true, so that there is no error which occurs. After that, start TLS enable. This is used to do the TLS encryption, which is a particular type of encryption to make the mail secure. After that, we create a session. Object, and we will pass the properties and the authenticator as the parameters. So this session will create an email session using the properties defined within itself. So after that, what we will do is create something called as MIME message. In Java, this MIME message object is used to represent the email message itself. So we will pass the session as the parameter, which we had already declared previously. After that, message.setFrom. In this, we will pass our email address, which is the sender's email address. The next is the add recipient methods over here. In this, we will pass the recipient's particular email address over here. Next, the set subject method. So as we all know, in mail, we will set a subject. So in this set subject method, we will pass a subject that has to be given to the mail. After that, we will do the set text method. This is the most important method, where you will send whatever your data you want to send, whatever the email's body or the text you want to send will be sent using this set text method. After that, we will use the .send method of the transport class, and we will pass the particular message that we want to send as parameters. And if the message is successfully sent, we will print that the email has been sent successfully. So after that, whatever if an error occurs in the try block, we will use it. We will catch it using the catch block, and we will print the stack trace to find wherever the error is occurring. So this is the basic Java code which we are using here to implement the SMTP protocol. As we had seen in the code, this is the code using Java programming language to send an email address using the SMTP protocol. Now, as we have seen all the technical aspects, let's see how and where it is used in real life. The first and the most simple way it is used is sending and receiving email. So SMTP is the core protocol for sending emails from one to another. The next is for automated alerts and notifications. You might have noticed that when you have downloaded an app and you give permissions for the notification, you will get automatic notifications if there is any update or anything in the app. So many systems like banking and especially shopping will use these SMTP to automatically send alerts and notifications if there has been a change or anything. The next main important use is in marketing emails. You might have received many spam emails which are automatically generated by the systems and not by the persons. This is also sent using SMTP. The next one is password resetting and account verification. So when we create a new application in a new website, or we want to reset a password, this all is done using the SMTP protocols. The next one is system monitoring and administration. So when we set up the IT administration and the servers, it uses SMTP to send status updates or to send any error messages. So these are all the major uses of the SMTP command. So today in this video we have discussed all about SMTP, which is the simple mail transfer protocol, which is one of the important protocol to send and receive emails. Hope you have understood clearly about the working of SMTP protocol. Thank you for being patient and listening to my explanation.